Hi everybody, it's Kim. I'm going to go ahead and do the cutting video for these floral soaps that I made last week. Was it last week? I think it was. I actually forgot I had them all in the mold in here, and so I just came in here and unwrapped them. They're a little tacky on the bottom from where I left them in the mold so long, but anyway, I'm just going to cut a few off of each, from each one because there was 5. Just didn't get around to cutting them during the week. So anyway, let me just go ahead and start with the butterfly. Let me come around so I can see what I'm doing. This table's really long. So here is a picture of it. It's nothing really, no big deal. I mean, those are just, I just use a little cutter, like for clay, to cut the butterflies out of from slices of soaps. So it's kind of recycled. And this one I did pour some clear melt and pour that had some sparkle glitter stuff in it. But otherwise, I normally, I haven't really done that before on the other ones, but I just thought I'd do it just to see what it would do. So, it's nothing in the inside really, just tone on tone. There's has a little bit of sparkle on it. Hope you're being able to see this. I was going to try to make some soap tonight, maybe a couple of batches of cucumber melon and Candelaria, but I'll see what I can get around to it, because right now I'm tempering my wax blends that I use for my candle and my tart. I had used a regular pre-mixed Parasoy wax for my wax all this time, but I'm trying a different blend that I mix myself. My friend Rhonda helped me with it and suggested I try it, and so I'm going to give it a try. It's also about waxes that I can get from a supplier in Texas, so that'll make it faster for me to get it in a pinch. I hope you can see those as I'm showing you. So anyway, I'd only made one batch. I mean, one block of these, and then they'll just kind of cure a little bit, and then I will trim them off and shave them. Let me do this one. This one is my Monet. Come around and show it up close. It looks a lot different than when it's wet because the blue changes color, but I think it looks beautiful. Even if I do say so. Something as simple as just adding some flowers on the top makes a difference sometimes. And so see how thick they are? Let me come around. So this is extremely thick. I know it. So what I'm going to do is I'll trim the bottom off. I'll shave the sides or plane the sides, but I'll trim off the bottom, and then I'll cut it in half, and it'll give me 2 samples, because I like to put samples in my soap, and they're nice little perfect size for a few hand washings. Hope you can see it. I'll come back in and I'll show you on the last one when I trim it. Nothing too much on the sides. Yeah, so anyway, I'm melting and what I call tempering the wax. Where I pre-melt the two waxes that I use down together, and then I pour them into gallon ice cream buckets to mold them basically, and let them harden, and then I pop them out and I store them in just stacked up open, and then that way when I need them, one gallon pops right into my wax melter perfectly and fills it up. That's how it is for my container wax. So I guess I'm going to try doing that with my tart wax and see how it goes. I mean, because honestly, I haven't really had any complaints to me. Like, nobody's like emailed me and said, your wax sucked. You know, I couldn't get any throw out of it. But I went from going from 10, you know, an enormous amount of sales on that to like in the fall to like nothing. So I'm only going to guess that maybe there was a problem with the wax. So I'm going to try making this wax blend for a change and see how it goes. And if I get complaints or something, you know, that they like the other one, then I'll go back to the other one. It's that simple. I'm only mixing up 20 pounds, so that'll go really quick. And I know that it's a good wax because the blend, because I've used my friends who suggested it to me. And then, like I said, I want to try and make maybe a couple of, oh, I'm sorry, this is red poppy. I just popped right over to it. See how I am? I'm going to, like I said, this is another one. I'm going to trim the bottom off, and I'll have 2 samples. The inside's real, you know, plain. It's the flowers. It's all about the flowers. They will be plain. I get 7 bars from each of those loaves. Okay, so this one is my La Vie Rose. I've been making this for a few years. It was one of the first scents, basically, or the first flower scents that I worked on. And I love that old song. So that's the reason why. It's just a really, I call it like a pink rose scent. It's soft. It reminds me kind of, it's not it, because I had one that was a dupe of it, and then they stopped selling it. But my favorite perfume for years was Stella McCartney, Stella. And this kind of reminds me of that scent. Okay, so in the inside of this, it'll darken, but you can see where it's kind of yellowed looking. That's where the rose petals are mixed in. And so, yeah, that'll be a different, it'll just be kind of a two-tone. And I will trim these off some too because they're a little thick. Makes them kind of hard to hold with the flowers on the top. And also because, like, one of these bars as it is, let me see how much it weighs. Is $7.70 as it is. And I don't know, I'll take a little bit off, but after that, I won't do it till after they're kind of cured more. And then I determine if I need to or not. I would like to make my Candelaria and my cucumber melon scent. But those are just in my tall vertical, tall skinny molds. Okay. Oh, this is the last one. I'll show it to you. This one is Renaissance, and the scent and the flowers were supposed to represent an eglantine or Shakespearean rose. So that's what this scent is. And it's like it has a slight rose scent, but a very soft, very gentle rose scent. But it's mostly green apple. A bright green apple scent with rose in it. And I mixed this one myself. I know there's another one out there like that, but I use some of that in it, but I add a lot more green apple to it. I love that one. This one I had used some clays in it. The Mitty, I guess that's how you say it. And so, like I said, I have 14 bars of each of these. At least it was a good way for me to be able to reuse those molds that I used to have, my original molds that were wide, and use them for making the soap and the logs. Because I really prefer this rather than making a big giant one and then cutting it into loaves. Because I don't mind lining the molds. I don't know. I just feel like I have a consistent. I know where I'm putting the flowers more, I guess you'd say. Okay. Well, anyway, that's my cutting video. And I may or I may not record for the other two soaps. Depends on if I have time. But anyway, thank you for watching and have a good evening.